Hey guys, so real quick, I just want to go ahead and get you started on Castle Unit 4 Worksheet 5, which is the first real color coding of a circuit that you have to do. Again, I just want to reiterate that color coding, we are essentially assigning a voltage or a potential or an electric pressure to each of these wires. And I want to, again, iterate a couple of key points that you're going to need while you do this worksheet. The first is the purpose of the battery. The purpose of the battery, again, it's not to keep the flow rate constant, it's to keep a constant pressure difference or a constant potential difference or a constant voltage in our circuit. And what that means, what consequence that has for our circuit is first that the wire that is connected to the positive side of the battery, we're always going to color that one red. And the wire that is connected to the negative side of the battery, we're always going to color that one blue. Essentially, what we are doing when we say this, or what we're saying when we do this, is that the battery is keeping that blue to red potential difference, or in this case, if that's a 9-volt battery, then the difference between blue and red is 9 volts. And the bottom of the battery is always going to be, we'll call it 0 or some negative number, and the top of the battery is always going to be 9 or some positive number. Okay? The second thing that you need to keep in mind while you do this is the resistance of a wire. Remember one of the recent activities that we did, I think it's activity 3.6. That activity was the one where we saw that wires have very little or zero resistance. Now, because a wire has very little resistance, it basically just lets charge in, or it lets charge out. And this wire comes to this blue voltage, this negative voltage, by charge getting sucked out of it. And since the wire has so little resistance, it just lets that charge go. And so the whole wire, wherever there's just wires connected, that becomes blue. And then on the other side, that charge is getting pushed into those red wires. And since that wire has very little or no resistance, it just lets that charge move into it, and so the pressure the potential is all red in that place. The light bulbs, though, those light bulbs have some resistance. It's a measurable amount of resistance. In the case of these long bulbs with the L on them, it's relatively high. Because that has resistance, it's not letting very much charge move through it. And so since it's not letting a whole lot of charge move through it, it establishes this difference in pressure or this difference in voltage on either side of the bulb. And that difference in the voltage is what makes the bulb light. So if there is different pressure on each of the bulbs, right, on either side of the bulb, so if it goes from red to blue, then the bulb lights. But if it's the same pressure or the same voltage on either side of the bulb, then there is a difference of 0 volts across the bulb, and it does not light. Charge does not get pushed through. Okay, I think I'm just going to do number 1 for you here. Remember to keep those concepts straight, okay? The concepts are the top of the battery is always red, the bottom of the battery is always blue, and as long as it's just wires connected, it's going to have the same pressure everywhere in that series of wires. So I'll go ahead and at least start the second one for you then. We're saying that this must be blue, and since this is just wires connected, this must all be blue too. Now what does that mean then if this wire basically just lets it through? What is that? Is that going to be blue? Is it going to be some other color like yellow that's in between red and blue, or green, which is a little bit lower than yellow? That I'm going to leave up to you to answer. That is going to be the end of what I do for you here today. I want you to go ahead and complete the rest of the worksheet on your own. I do want to make sure you understand I am grading this one. I'll take a half off for each response that you have that's incorrect. So do actually try to do this worksheet and try to do it correctly. If you do have any questions, you're always welcome to join me in those office hours from 1 to 2 p.m. each day. All right, have a good rest of your day, guys. God bless.